I eat all of what I do to try and replenish all of those fat stores, all those cell stores, the T and B, and to get all the bioavailable nutrients to keep my liver and all my other organs super healthy. So I've got the electrical conductivity and the regeneration that I need. So
what have you got there to eat?
there's like a little invisible film around it. It has a little casing, so I just want to peel that back. So I just pop that.
Okay, cut it back.
Cut it back.
Okay, cut it off. Oh, I see. Yeah, show us that skin layer right there. That kind of.
Yeah, this is like a membrane. This is really similar to what's on one side of the deer skin when I'm tanning leather.
As Americans seek economic protection after the most controversial election in U.S. history, year to date in 2020 alone, gold is up 30% and silver rising more than 50%. And now we're entering a new year facing economic realities of a global economic crisis caused by COVID and political reactions. Patriot Gold Group has the No Fee for Life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or physical silver. And the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 5 years in a row from 2016 to present. To find more information, the link's in the description box below. And now on with the video.
Sit over there, all right? Sit over there.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're having an amazing feast here. We're going to try something different. You know, we have all the plates that you used to cooking the food. A lot of people are into raw foods, and there's so many diets and different ways to consume foods. But I have somebody here that's very special that's going to guide us through a different type of thought on consuming foods that you probably haven't seen before. If you have, hopefully you can add to the knowledge. But here we go.
I'm John. I've got a YouTube channel called Primitive Ways, and I'm sure you can imagine from the title of Primitive that I'll have something to do with nature and animals and that kind of living, and obviously what you're about to see is obviously connected to that. So my whole outlook on nutrition and looking after yourself, I focus on regeneration rather than stimulation. I don't really need too much stimulation, I've got enough energy. So I want to regenerate my body, and from what I've learned, it's minerals that actually like run the show. You know, like our physical body is built of minerals. You know, our bones are made of calcium, and the minerals literally, they do everything. There's that old saying, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You start off as minerals, you end up as minerals. But genes are bathed in minerals. You can't make vitamins without minerals. You can't make enzymes without minerals. You can't make coenzymes without minerals. Minerals literally run the whole show. So the reason I eat what I eat is because I want to get the mineral content. Like you need bioavailable heme iron to actually, so that iron can be put into the centre of the hemoglobin and actually be transported around the body correctly to deliver oxygen.
No, I'm sorry, can you speak English to me?
But yeah, minerals. Start looking into minerals. For instance, your adrenal glands that sit on top of your kidneys, they produce 51 hormones every single day. As where your thyroid, for instance, don't get me wrong, is incredibly important, but your thyroid produces one hormone a day, it's called thyroxine. But your adrenal glands produce 51 hormones every single day, and they run on a ratio of sodium to magnesium. So magnesium is absolutely important, but it's the mineral that we actually use the most of, and we lose it easiest. The body likes to hold on to calcium, but magnesium it loses pretty easy. So you've got all of these minerals which are essential for the physical structure of our body, for creating the hormones, the transportation of oxygen, and actually electrifying our bodies so it can actually make these minerals actually usable. When they're out in nature and they're in an unbound state, when they go into our body actually has this incredible way of using proteins to actually electrify the minerals so they're actually usable. Like for instance, when you when the copper and the iron is in the liver, there's a protein called Ceruroplasmin which actually coats the iron and the copper and binds them into a different electrical state so the body can actually use them. is where otherwise what happens is they're in an unbound state, and rather than the copper actually building bone, building connective tissue, building gut lining, it will actually do the opposite and attack it. Like we all know, they used to use copper mats for killing off tree, to keep the roots. The roots would hit the copper and they die back. So then copper's incredible, like antibacterial. Like in France now, they're replacing all the handles in the hospitals with copper, because copper will kill any disease, bacteria, virus, whatever in like under 3 minutes.
You put water in copper, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But like copper's different to silver as well. Like silver needs to be kept in a specific humidity for it to be antibacterial, is where copper can be soaking wet or completely dry. No matter what, it's the most antibacterial mineral of all. It's incredible. But like copper is so vital. You have to look after your liver basically, so that your liver is actually putting your copper in a bound state and it's usable. Otherwise, it will attack you. Same with the iron. If it's not bioavailable iron, it won't transport oxygen around your body, and it'll actually end up in your bloodstream. It's what they call rust, which is when you have something called glutathione, which is what clears out all of this rust. But then you use up all of your glutathione resources, and then when you get overtoxicity, you can't clear them out of your body, and that's when you get a lot of build-up of heavy metals and you get serious damage. So the reason I eat the diet I eat is because I want to get the minerals, and I also want to get younger cells and flesh and things into my body completely for regeneration. My brain is made of fat, my liver is made of fat, my bones are hollow and they're filled completely with bone marrow, which is all fat, and in there that's got T and B cells, and where my stem cells come from, they're the cells that can become any cells for regeneration. I eat all of what I do to try and replenish all of those fat stores, all those cell stores, the T and B, and to get all the bioavailable nutrients to keep my liver and all my other organs super healthy. So I've got the electrical conductivity and the regeneration that I need. So
what have you got here today?
I must say, in the UK, they pack the meats really well. It was a large selection of lamb and different types of meat that I haven't seen in the US.
So this is a lamb heart, and the reason I'm choosing lamb is partly because I really enjoy the taste of the lamb hearts, but it's because it's a younger animal. So it's not been around for too long, which means all the cells and all of the actual structure it's made out of is going to be easier. It's going to be better for me. When I take these cells on, they're going to be healthier, they're going to have better minerals in them. It's going to be a lot better for my health to eat a younger animal as opposed to an older animal that's taken on maybe more toxins, and through its metabolic dysfunction it's left more exhaust inside the flesh and tissue. So younger animals, definitely 100% younger animals are always better. Always and always and always. And another thing to mention as well is whenever I've got my hands on any kind of organ, I actually think it's good to study the organs and actually start to look at how they work and how different parts of them are all connected and stuff, because let's face it, one day you might have to put some things back together either on you or a family member or whatever. So I think it's really good to start looking at how different parts of physical structure is, and if you had to...
Yeah, like what if you had to sew a tendon together, somebody who got hurt? Could you do that? Do you even know what a tendon looks like? Or what are some other parts of the body that you might think about in meats that we can buy at the store?
Yeah.
So we got the fat layer, which most of us need stitches to close back again. And then what else would you think of? You have the heart here, but what are the types of tendons when you're buying different cuts of meat? The ribs, like we saw today, and the lamb chops. But what else could you think about as body parts that you could look at inside the animal to replicate if you need to repair something like on a first aid basis, like first responder?
Look at how the different types of the parts react. Like for instance, tendons and ligaments are like giant rubber bands. So when one gets cut, it's going to spring up in, and that it's going to have to be reattached under pressure. And like for instance, like you have different pipes and different organs and things, and you have to think like, well, if I was to try to attach that pipe, how flexible is the pipe? How strong is it? How far apart would I have to do the stitches so it's strong enough? And do you know what I mean? It's things like that. So it's like looking at the way that the different parts actually behave. How strong are they? Are they elasticy? I couldn't fit together because it's flesh. It's just basically studying and looking. And I personally myself find that kind of thing super fascinating, like watching like surgeries and things like that. It's incredible.
Yeah, because as we move through these transitions, people are going to be getting hurt more, cut more, because they're trying to grow more of their own food, repair some of their own homes. things that we've left for other people to do as skills that we pay them to do, we're going to have to start doing those ourselves again. And think about working around your community, repairing a fence, barbed wire fence to keep the animals in. You know, you might cut yourself, or something might happen out there. A tree might fall on you, a log. You know, how do you stop the bleeding? How do you do triage as a first responder for a lot of things we've never dealt with? Because working in communities, we're going to have to do almost everything again that we pay people or other services that are provided for us now. We're going to have to take that own sovereignty back as we move through these changes in the grand solar minimum.
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in, I think it's very important. I'm Jason Leosatis. My website's jasonleosatis.com. I've got a YouTube channel called Outside the Box where I interview great people like David Devine.
Well, what else do you talk about?
John. Well, I talk about all sorts of things. I just have great guests on talking about, well, my book's called The Emergency Transformation of Human Beings, but that's another thing. I don't want to take the focus of what John's doing.
No, but give it quick. If I want to watch your channel, why should I watch you?
My channel basically is about re-establishing ethics, morals, truth and empathy in the world. And having conversations about the fact that, in my opinion, there's an emergency, but it's a very positive emergency because it's forcing us back home to ourselves and to rediscover and recalibrate and remember ourselves and what we've lost hold of, whether it's our spirits or the kind of thing that John does on his land, you know. But what I'm very, very interested in here is what John's doing here now. And I wouldn't want to eat a lamb's heart myself, but I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would, you know. But I mean, I'm sat here eating chicken that's cooked. Now, I want to just make a point because, you know, John's eating a heart here, but that's fine if it's cooked. I mean, John could be eating a raw chicken here and everyone would be going, ooh, ah, ooh. So just the fact that it's cooked, like we mentioned earlier, John, changes the whole paradigm. Yeah. It's like, well, it's okay, it's cooked, it's just a chicken. No, actually, well, look, it's a heart, it's a being. So I love the fact that John will walk in my gallery or my studio eating a packet of raw mince. I mean, you came in yesterday, didn't you? Yeah. I loved it. Now, most people that are coming, they go, oh my God. But hang on a minute, you're eating it tonight in the shepherd's pie. So there's so much hypocrisy and lack of facing reality here. And this is what I love about the work you do, John, helping people to reconnect and remind them of the reality of the truth of our world. But sorry, I just felt like I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so let me interject. So imagine if we had a cooking show and they were to take a lamb's heart and then fry it up, and you watch the person cook it up with all the spices and all the salts, and it comes down. Jamie Oliver, great example. Yeah, I like Jamie Oliver's cooking show. I'm a fan anyway. Hey, Jamie, if you're listening, fan, good solid work. Thank you. We cook so much based on your shows. Thank you so much for the value you gave us on how to cook the best meals ever, and thank you. But if you're going to cook that and put it on a plate and plate it up and put all the, the greens on there, the carrots, and we have all these different types of veggies, it looks amazing. Yeah, so it has a whole different framing or perception of if you're going to eat it raw, if you're going to eat it cooked, and how it's plated up for the diet. They might even have lamb heart on a special thing in a restaurant sometimes. So, it's just a perception on how you consume and how you can think about how to heal your body or regenerate the body. And see, this is the thing, regenerate. We got to regenerate our souls, our bodies, our energy fields, everything else. So
it's a new experience. It's like, even me with all my sort of craziness, it's like
there's a lot of magnesium in the heart for a very, very specific reason. This is the pump that pumps the liquid around your body. This has to have magnesium in it to keep it soft. Magnesium, what it does, it's a softener. Like, for instance, the magnesium in your adrenal glands is to calm them down, and the sodium excites them. Magnesium is something that relaxes the muscles and calms things down. So the reason why there's a lot of magnesium always stored in your heart is so that the muscle always has the flexibility in it that it needs. As soon as you come depleted in magnesium, and then you eat things like glycose syrup and fructose syrup and all these sort of things, because hardened arteries, because there's not enough magnesium in there to counteract and actually keep it softened. Like that fructose syrup stuff is like...
Yeah, high fructose corn.
So,
drum roll.
Yeah, please. Who can do the drum?
So I always turn it upside down and start with a little nibble on the top. Just
am I going to get splashed with blood?
No,
let's take a close up here.
Basically, there's like a little invisible film around it. It has a little casing, so I just want to peel that back. So I just pop that.
Okay, cut it back.
Cut it back. And
okay, cut it off. Oh, I see. Yeah, show us that skin layer right there. That kind of.
Yeah, this is like a membrane. This is really similar to what's on one side of the deer skin when I'm tanning leather. there's like a kind of membrane film on the inside.
Yeah, show the membrane what you mean. When after you peel the skin off of that, yeah, look at that, how that membrane peels back there.
And there's that layer.
Yeah,
which
just
is
pull it back right there.
Coated over the whole heart.
So you want to take that back off before you either cook it or eat it because you don't want that membrane on there.
Yeah, well, I kind of sort of eat in the end and sort of it sort of peels, unfolds that stuff back.
Okay.
So I always start in the top and then.
And it doesn't look that tough. It seems.
Yeah, it seems real soft in there. Okay, but peel the skin back again so you can see that membrane. That membrane seems to be like a major factor in the heart on how it peels back and how it skins back.
Well,
it's a fascinating
like everything in nature, everything is unique. Your fingerprint's unique, every tree grows different, everybody surfs different, everybody plays an instrument differently, every heart's different. This one actually hasn't got too much of a casing, but some of them had. Once you bit through that top bit, you can just kind of peel this whole out a bit off, but this is a good one. And also, I know that this was taken out of the animal on Friday morning. It's now Wednesday evening, and the hearts, if you leave it actually like a week or so to settle, the flavour is out of this world. It's, yeah, like let's say about hanging meat up and leaving it to settle. It's a little bit older.
Well, I've had a lot of things going on in this house, right, Louise?
So show us the membrane again on the top. So what you peel back so far is...
Yeah, there's not really... I mean, this is interesting here, obviously. Where you
Yeah,
can
I
see
mean,
the
are you
name.
going to really try to cook that and eat that part? Or you won't cook it, but I mean, can you eat that part in there? It looks really fatty. Are you going to eat down into the fat layer?
You can eat the whole thing. Every single bit of it.
And I bet after you've eaten that, you wouldn't want much more food. That's it, you're done.
You could go 2 days without food after eating that.
Yeah, that's how nutrition is. Realize that eating this thing raw apparently has as much nutritional value as full 2 days of your meals. So look at the Native American traditions. When they talked about drinking the blood of the deer, when they talked about eating the different parts of the deer raw after they came back from their hunting parties. I mean, this would have been it. That's why they split the heart. And massive nutrition in a small amount of space for days.
Fatty. Yeah. That's quite tender, yeah?
So the meat around the bottom part of the heart is absolutely beautiful. Very tender, lovely flavour, full of also bioavailable minerals. Awesome.
And for those retching now, this is not much different to a rare steak, is it really?
Nobody flinches at steak tartare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like incredibly rare, if you're going to order in a restaurant, rare steaks.
Really posh.
So,
Posh, but this is rude because you're eating a heart. Again, it's about framing.
so
This is lamb heart tartare.
hell yeah. Lamb heart at all.
How much would this be well,
Yeah, right. If you were going to go to a restaurant, how much of that cost
$100?
for
Yeah,
the tartare and
good
you
point.
get the fancy spoon to dig it out of the cup, but here we have right from the source.
$100. How much was that?
£1.
Yeah, 1 pound.
Not even that, about 87p for like for the most nutritional thing you can find on the entire planet anywhere under £1.
Yeah, because they do I found that they threw away the livers as well. So, if you know how to cook liver and prepare liver, hey, Jamie Oliver, thanks for the liver recipes. You can make liver taste amazing, and it costs nothing because people don't want that. They want the prime cut of the, under the rib on the T-bone or whatever it is. But there's so many parts of the animals that are thrown away that could be incredibly delicious, prepared correctly. And, looking at livers as well, you talked about the blood and all the nutrition in there. Livers are heavy.
Anyway, if anyone's sort of thinking and toying with the idea of maybe a bit of liver, then cook it in apple cider vinegar. But for any people out there who are steak fans who love the fat, who love that bit of strap, that strip of fat on the steak, fat lovers, go and get a heart, because this fat around the top that looks all bumpy, weird and gross, this is the tastiest fat ever. It just melts in your mouth like butter. Wow. It's so good. It's just there's no chewiness to it, nothing. It is just